Recently we got some new Sonic card game. Who cares? Today on the channel, we are going to be talking about one of the most praised Sonic games, Sonic Generations for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. Now, I have a total of 2 videos on the channel talking about this game. One is quite old and not something I'm very proud of.
The 2 travel through many locations.
However, the Sonic Generations 3DS video is something I am proud of, and if you click on the iCard up above, you can watch the video. If you end up enjoying today's video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it's always appreciated and shows me you want more content like mine. Also, I'm pretty close to hitting 4,000 subscribers, so hitting that subscribe button would mean a lot. Today, like previously stated, we will be taking a look at a Sonic game which most people love and praise for years now. Today, we'll be looking at a game known as Sonic Generations, and we're going to see how much has it changed after 10 years. Development of Sonic Generations began in 2009 when Takashi Iizuka realized that there was no anniversary game planned for 2011, which was the Blue Blur's 20th anniversary. His idea was for a tribute for the 20 years of Sonic that there was. This idea was accepted by Sega and development began. During development, Sega had an internal poll for employees of Sega, including Sega of Japan, America, and Europe, asking what their favorite levels from the Sonic series were. After ranking the most popular levels, a website was launched holding another poll asking the opinions of the fans of the series. In late 2010, rumors of a Sonic Anniversary game surfaced online. The rumors told of a game that would potentially feature remakes of levels from throughout Sonic's history in 2D and 3D. The game was alleged to be released on all major game consoles at the time: PSP, PS3, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, and Nintendo DS. However, on April 18, 2011, Sonic Generations was finally announced for the PS3 and Xbox 360. Later though, GameStop released a list which was printed on May 7, 2011, which showed a 3DS port of Generations with a release date of December 31, 2011. Later in the month, a Sega Sammy earnings report listed 3DS and PC versions of the game. However, a revised version of the report no longer listed either version. The June 2011 issue of Nintendo Power finally confirmed a Nintendo 3DS version of Sonic Generations. It contained an in-depth preview and interview with Takashi Iizuka. The 3DS version had minor story changes as well. Although there were many writers for the story, many of them worked on games like Sonic Colors, Sonic and the Black Knight, the Adventure series, and of course these were the people who were directing the 3DS version. Sonic Team and DIMS were the ones who co-developed the 3DS edition. Lastly, Sega officially announced a PC version of the game on October 11, 2011. This version was outsourced and developed by a UK company known as Devil's Details. Now with wrapping up development about Sonic Generations, I want to take a moment to talk about how I actually got my copy of Sonic Generations and fell in love with this amazing Sonic game. Now, I don't remember off the top of my head on how exactly I got my copy of Generations, but know I had 2 copies of the game. One was broken on accident. The other I currently still have to this day. I did lose the manual, however. I got my first copy at Blockbuster where my dad bought it, and I had it for a solid 2 months until one day my cousin came over and broke it in half because he was mad for some reason that I don't remember. So my dad took me to Best Buy where I got my PS3 Greatest Hits version of Sonic Generations, which came in a red case, but nothing else was special about it. Now skipping a few years ahead to today, how does the game run? How's the frame rate? All questions like these are about to be answered. I had to pull my PS3 out of retirement and had to force it to swallow the Sonic Generations disc. Yes, I'm aware that doesn't sound right. Do I really care though? No. When I booted up the game, I realized my sister probably reset the PS3 when I gave it to her, so I lost all of my data unfortunately. So we will be basing off how the game went for me as I played on a new save file. My first complaint is that the saving is too slow on the PS3. I do think that the 360 version is quicker, but I'm not sure, so correct me if I'm wrong. Well, Google didn't give me an answer I wanted, so you guys tell me in the comment section down below if the load times were faster if you had a copy of the Xbox 360 version. Nonetheless, finally when we got into Green Hill Zone Act 1 with Classic Sonic, it was alright. Clearly the game was at 30 FPS because that's the cap on PlayStation 3, and yes, it did throw me off a bit since I'm used to the 60 because of the PC version. And no, I didn't have much trouble beating the stage regardless of how much the game has changed FPS wise for me. However, after 10 years passed because of a loading screen, modern Sonic is where I started to notice issues. Sometimes my inputs would be dropped, and this is something that definitely was annoying. And or my inputs felt delayed. This was something else I could also notice, which was an issue I had to deal with on the PS3 version of this game. I also noticed some frame drop stutterings during the stage, but once I completed Act 2, the next part of the game gave me an achievement, saving the game, and putting text showing me how to switch, and this entire segment of gameplay felt like forever. I was disappointed to see something as simple as switching Sonics also took a lot longer than it should have. But I don't want to bash on a game from how it's played on an old ass console from 2008, so I'll end off with this. Overall, it's pretty good for running on such an outdated system. Do I recommend this version? No. But let me say this, go play the PC Steam version, as it's the best. How did critics and fans alike take this game though? Let's find out in the initial release. The console and PC versions of Sonic Generations received generally well-received reviews according to Metacritic. The game was also successful commercially, selling 1.5 million copies worldwide across platforms by May 2012. The game's presentation was well received. Nathan M. of GameSpot called the graphics arguably the best of the series, praising the detail putting into recreating each level. This statement was echoed by Tim Turrell of Game Informer. Jack DeVries and Brian Altano of IGN offered similar praise for the visuals and described its remix tracks as cool and its sound effects as spot on. Tom Bramwell of Eurogamer felt that Sonic Generations was a worthy tribute to the Sonic franchise, though he still considered the franchise's previous entries, Sonic Colors, to be better. Something else the critics definitely praised was the gameplay. They loved the level design and they loved the replay value and the incentive to get a better time on each stage. These, however, were the critics' responses on this great game. So, how did fans take it? Well, most people nowadays really like this game, I will say that. Although it's mostly common knowledge now to praise Sonic Generations, because if you don't, you will basically get killed on Sonic Twitter. Most people nowadays are okay with the game. However, back in the day when this game was coming out, people were not always immediately supportive of this game. And although people nowadays really like this game, back then there were some people who were like this.
Yeah. Not gameplay whatsoever.
A big jump. Oh! Double! It's Sonic! It's the original Sonic! He's more cartoony and less badass.
Okay, sweet. Less stupid
Oh! I hope they kiss!
Thankfully, most people like that aren't seen very often. And when they are seen, well, let's just say some things are better left unsaid. For the story of Sonic Generations, it really isn't anything major or exciting. You can literally play either of my previous Sonic Generations videos and I will most likely be saying the same thing that I'm going to tell you now. Sonic Generations is a game which is definitely praised for its gameplay, not story. And that for sure, because personally I think Sonic Generations has one of the worst stories in any of Sonic's games. One thing I already disliked was how classic Sonic and modern Sonic were split up into different characters beyond this game, which is something I hated. Here's the most simple way to put the story of Sonic Generations though. Oh, and yeah, spoilers if you care. After his previous defeat, Dr. Eggman is left stranded in outer space with his robot henchmen Orbot and Cubot. A mysterious time-traveling entity known as the Time Eater appears, and Dr. Eggman, realizing his potential, uses it to go back in time and team up with his past classic self, Dr. Robotnik. The two convert it into a robot to erase their past defeats from history. The Time Eater proceeds to attack classic Sonic as he travels through Green Hill Zone at the beginning of the original Sonic the Hedgehog game, and interrupts a birthday celebration being held for the present modern Sonic by his friends, scattering them all through different time portals. And modern Sonic awakens in white space and rescues Tails after traveling through Green Hill. Modern Sonic awakens in white space and rescues Tails after traveling through Green Hill. Modern Sonic and Tails eventually meet their classic counterparts, and form an alliance to restore their world. The two travel through locations from their past they find in white space, restoring them to normal. They rescue many of their friends, including Knuckles, Amy, Rouge, Cream, Blaze, and the Chaotix, while battling old enemies for the Chaos Emeralds. Both Sonics eventually confront the two Doctors, who overpower them using the Time Eater. However, the two Sonics use the Chaos Emeralds to transform into their super forms and defeat the Time Eater. This restores the timeline to normal, and everyone resumes celebrating modern Sonic's birthday, while classic Sonic and Tails bid farewell and return to their time. Meanwhile, both classic and modern Eggman are left and trapped in white space. But, let's ask this. How did they return in future titles? How did they get out? How did they get out? Nobody really knows. But something I do know is about how the gameplay of classic Sonic works. Next up, we're going to be taking a little bit of a deep dive on how classic Sonic controls and feels in this game. The whole gimmick of classic Sonic being in Sonic Generations is to recreate the 2D formula that classic Sonic had, or I guess Sonic had, in Sonic 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and CD, and I guess Mania now since we're in the present 2021. Like every game, the mechanic of this entire game is just to play as classic Sonic, or just Sonic and how he felt in his 2D games like I just listed. I guess we can bring back the overly merchandised Sonic joke, right? What's that? No one found it funny? Who cares, I'll use it in the next video then. Anywho, classic Sonic in this game feels nothing like he did in Sonic's 1, 2, 3, or CD. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, however, classic Sonic will be the Sonic you will be playing as during Act 1 of each and every zone. We will get to that later. Classic Sonic is controlled with either a joystick or D-pad and uses X or A to jump depending on what console you're on. Pressing square or X can also make classic Sonic spin dash, which is super busted in this game. But yeah, that's about all there is control-wise for classic Sonic. There's no shields in the stages, or elemental ones at least, and you have to unlock those from missions and equip them as skills, which is something new to Sonic Generations. Classic Sonic can still use a bunch of skills, however, but his most known ones are Super Sonic, Bubble Shield, Fire Shield, and Thunder Shield, and even the homing attack, which is something you can unlock at the end of the game. Other than that, I'd say skills have much more of a better use in Modern Sonic, which is the next thing we're going to be talking about. Modern Sonic is the playstyle I have a little bit more to talk about, and is my favorite playstyle in the game out of the two. Modern Sonic is a gameplay style that feels very reminiscent to the daytime stages of Sonic Unleashed and overall Sonic Colors. In this game, however, I'd like to call it the peak of the boost formula, which most people can agree with. After all, this is the best, and since they have now perfected the boost formula, there was no way they could mess it up in a future title. Oh wait. When Sonic travels throughout his stages, he can be moved with the joystick, and by pressing A or X, you can jump, again depending on the console you're on. Pressing square or X can make you boost, Y or triangle can be used to lightspeed dash, B or circle to stomp, and using the bumper buttons R2 or RT for drifting. One thing I always liked about the boost formula games was how the game made us feel like Sonic is a car, and truth be told, that feels like some of the things that make Sonic that much more fun to control. Many of the skills I love to use for modern Sonic and mess around with is Blast Off, Acceleration, Longer Boost Gauge, Smasher Bonus, Super Sonic, and much more, which can make this game so much more fun, especially for the replay value. Sonic Generations is a game that really doesn't have many original assets, but can reuse assets to make the game original, which is what I love about this game. Sonic Generations consists of 9 stages with 3 categories: the Classic Era, the Dreamcast Era, and the Modern Era. Green Hill Zone is the first stage in the game, and is a perfect introduction to new players and veteran players alike, with a perfect blend of 2D and 3D sections, including teaching you all the basic maneuvers the game has to offer. The stages progressively get more difficult as it's required to inhabit better instincts for platforming and avoiding obstacles to get through the stages more cleanly. Replayability is a huge factor for Sonic Generation stages, and with the skills complementing them. Each zone has up to 5 extra missions each, as most consist with either you completing the stage with an objective, or playing the stage with an entire different layout, including having the ability to change the soundtrack to your liking. Now, although I don't have much to say on this because I think this has been said enough, there was a possibility for a third playstyle that was going to replicate the adventure formula that was going to be used in Sonic Generations. However, it never happened, but all there was rumors about it. Overall though, I really love how unique each and every mission is for each zone, because you get to see levels in different times like night or day or afternoon or sunset, and that's just the little things that I love about the missions for this game. Speaking of unique things, Sonic Generations has a DLC, which is really odd because you don't expect a game like that to. But anyways, although it's not much of a DLC, the Sonic Generations Casino Night DLC is very simple, as it's only just a simple pinball machine gameplay. Although Casino Night Zone is an actual stage in Sonic Generations 3DS. The console adaptations are dramatically inferior when compared to the PC versions, obviously, as it's capped at 30 FPS, while the PC version can run at 60 FPS, along with a bunch of other things like faster loading screens and a bunch of other stuff which makes the game look cleaner and better overall. Putting aside all the aspects, let's talk about the boss fights and rivals in the game. There are 3 rivals in Sonic Generations, which are Metal Sonic for Classic Sonic, and Silver and Shadow for Modern Sonic. Metal Sonic takes place on Speed Highway in the bad future. Instead of Classic Sonic racing Metal Sonic in the end, his mission is to hurt you or knock you off the falling platforms by using his abilities that consist of a smaller but faster drill attack, a huge directional shockwave, and debris to take you out. And for the last ditch effort, he uses a fully powered shock drill to take you out, but with the cost of speed, as Sonic is required to stay up in speed in order to survive. The Silver boss fight is dramatically better compared to his past editions. The Silver boss fight puts a dramatic intensifies in positioning. Silver uses his power of telekinesis and uses anything around him to defeat Sonic, such as cars, trucks, and even parts of the roads and buildings to smash Sonic. At some instances, he will use telekinesis blades to throw at Sonic, and sometimes it's just vertical and horizontal. Then, as his desperation moves, he creates a giant junk ball and throws it at Sonic. However, if you're quick enough, you can actually throw Silver into his own junk ball, allowing you to defeat him once and for all. Shadow the Hedgehog is a unique boss, as you actually have to race Shadow. Sonic and Shadow have to race in order to capture the energy orb, but it is required to capture 2 of them in order to use their ultimate powers. Although Shadow won't let you achieve that very easily, managing your boost is very important, as keeping the boost can be scarce at all times. If you are running without boost, this will make you vulnerable, as Shadow constantly boosts and can trip you up, making you slower while losing rank, and eventually uses his Chaos Spear to finish you off. However, if you get 2 of the power orbs, you can just boost up to Shadow, take all of his ranks, and defeat him quickly. Those, however, are all the rivals in Sonic Generations. Let's talk about the 3 main bosses of Sonic Generations: Death Egg Robot, Perfect Chaos, and Egg Dragoon. The Death Egg Robot originates from Sonic 2, as it starts off with the robot shooting its arm at you. You can easily avoid this by spin dashing when the cursor stops. He will then try to jump and stomp on you. When the Death Egg Robot is jumping, if you can spin dash under it and just hit him in the butt, he will knock over the robot, and after a few hits, the Death Egg Robot will be defeated. Perfect Chaos is the final boss of Sonic Adventure and the second boss in the HD version of Sonic Generations. Unlike the last fight, you will not need Super Sonic to defeat this monstrosity. Unlike the last fight in Sonic Adventure, you do not need Super Sonic to defeat Perfect Chaos, which is something I actually really like, which shows how much stronger Sonic has gotten. Instead of fighting this boss with Super Sonic, you will fight as the regular Modern Sonic. He uses Sonic Boost to traverse the Broken City streets to reach and hit Perfect Chaos. To hit the beast, you must first reach him. The fight could be considered a level, as you use various springs, boost pads, and some wall runnings to reach the Perfect Chaos location in the city. All throughout your travels, Perfect Chaos will attempt to hit you with its tentacles and destroy alternate routes. Perfect Chaos will also spawn tornadoes and fire its lasers near Sonic, like its previous encounter. By using the Sonic Boost, you can then swivel through the monster's body like Super Sonic did, and hitting Perfect Chaos's brain, damaging it. You must do this 3 times, taking 3 different routes doing so. After these hits, Perfect Chaos will literally raise various objects around him, making you have to travel to his head one more time. One more homing attack on his head, and he will finally lay this beast to rest, giving you a Chaos Emerald. The Egg Dragoon makes its grand return as the boss battle in Sonic Generations. Although you won't be playing as the Werehog, this fight takes place in a large tunnel, presumably near or inside of Eggman Land from Sonic Unleashed, where the original battle took place. While Sonic took on this mech before in his Werehog form, and this time, Sonic fights Eggman with his normal blue self, and the mech's battle style has changed to compensate for it. You can hit Eggman anytime you get close enough to his second control area, which is where the flashing green balls in the original mech design comes from. Eggman still has all the weapons he used in his previous fight alongside a few new ones. He can fire ice shards, the previous battle is his ice bomb, while Sonic is running. His drill can be fired at Sonic like a homing missile. Instead of electric shockwaves, he has a laser gun which fires multiple lasers across the tunnel for you to leap over. When you are grinding, he fires actual missiles at you. Sometimes he will trap you inside 2 large walls and try to smash you with the ice shards falling from the top to keep you in. All you need to do is wall jump out and dodge into the ice where you can hit him again in the face. Eventually he will go through what seems to be a Time Eater warp, which will make you skydive down a large shaft fighting the mech like in the original fight. Dodge his drill attacks the right way and you can hit him again if you get close enough. At the end of the battle, the Dragoon falls to pieces in the shaft with the fight over, and yet you earn another Chaos Emerald. The Time Eater is the final boss of Sonic Generations. This fight will be taking place in deep space, with Dr. Robotnik and Dr. Eggman fighting you at the same time. The monster will sometimes switch perspectives, and so to compensate for this, you must switch between modern and classic Sonic to switch between a 2D and 3D perspective. The perspective change allows you to dodge attacks between dimensions, and each perspective comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. In 3D, more space allows for greater evasion of flying objects and attacks. Rings are also something you will need to continue to collect to keep your supersonic form, and of course, rings can be harder to find and obtain in 3D. In 2D, the reduced perspective makes ring gathering a breeze, but dodging attacks in this perspective is considerably harder. The Time Eater will throw random objects at you as you try to block your path. You can throw your partner into these and clear the obstacles in your way, as well as warping hands through time and space to attack you. To attack the monster, simply make it to its core and touch it. Being super, you will overload the monster and damage it as a result. Do this thrice. On its 4th and final hit, the Time Eater will do a combined classic and modern Eggman attack involving a huge energy sphere. Pushing the triggers/bumpers on your controller together will dispel his attack, as both modern and classic Sonic join hands together and make a drill attack. This attack will backfire and the monster will explode, throwing all the characters out of the void, except for Eggman and his classic counterpart. Although watching classic Sonic and classic Tails running away, I know for a fact it's not going to be the last time we see them. However, something that does make up for this cringy story is the music, which is something we're going to be talking about next. So, I'm not really great with soundtracks, so I'll be getting someone who I think can describe Sonic Generations' original soundtrack a lot better than I could. Let me pass the mic to my good friend Temsy.
If there's one thing us Sonic fans can agree on, it's that Sonic games never miss with their music. Whether spin-off or mainline, each and every Sonic game contains nothing but bangers, except maybe Sonic Chronicles. And Sonic Generations is no exception. Not only does it include well-orchestrated remixes for the stages in the games, you have the option of unlocking and loading in songs from previous Sonic games to use as background music for your gaming experience, which is actually something rarely done in the previous installments, without the use of mods of course. But let's quickly talk about the actual in-game remixes. Classic levels, aka Act 1s, are usually accompanied by an upbeat techno-style remix, whilst modern stages either opt for a rock style or some form of drum and bass. In fact, this style of remixes was handled so perfectly by the Sonic sound team that it inspired some fan remixes of popular Sonic stages that weren't in the game, thus creating an unofficial extended soundtrack. And although the game came out in 2011, new remixes are still being produced by fans even today. By the way, have you ever noticed that modern Sonic's Act 2 music sounds different while you boost? That's because unlike the previous Boost Formula games, the Sonic sound team actually created remixes of the Act 2 stages that would switch and play whenever Sonic reaches max speed. It's kind of like the Speed Chew remixes from the classic Sonic levels if you think about it. But it doesn't stop there, even the boss levels and the freaking hardballs are a treat to listen to. I swear I must have spent like 10 minutes in the collection room listening to that one jazz remix of Dawn to Summer from Knuckles Chaotix. This is some good stuff, I'm telling you. Hey VMAG, I did the thing, can you let me out of your basement now? It's been weeks since I've eaten, man, I'm starving.
No, shut up! Anyway, before we end off the video, we're going to be talking about some things I have as final thoughts, talking about Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations, in my opinion, has aged like fine wine, not story-wise. Going from the presentation of this game to the replay value or even just the music, this game does not disappoint in the slightest. Truly, I love the way Sonic Generations was made as a game, and I felt and I can only hope that one day we get another game just as good as it. Just because a game reuses old assets like zones, music, and a lot more does not make this game bad. Games like Sonic Generations and Sonic Mania are perfect examples of this. They take places from the past and revamp them in an old way, thus making them new, original, and fun. Lastly, if you feel the need to, something I heavily recommend is checking out the mods for this game. I think Sonic Generations is one of those main few titles that got a crazy amount of mod support. Some mods I may recommend checking out is the Unleashed project, which brings all of the daytime stages from Sonic Unleashed, and there's no Werehog, sadly, and Eggman Land in its own mod, which allows you to play through Eggman Land but only designed for the daytime Sonic. And lastly, I recommend you check out the character swap mods, as there are some which makes you feel like you're playing a new character, and this can make the game so much fun. I would definitely start with the Knuckles mod, as there's gliding in the place of air boosting, and that is something really cool.
Hey, so you made it to the end of the video. Thanks so much for hanging around for this long. If you ended up enjoying today's video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it's greatly appreciated, and again, we're close to 4K, and it shows me you like content like mine and want to see more like it. I want to quickly put on screen my current channel members who support the channel in another way than just donations or overall support. If you'd like to become a channel member, just press the join button next to the subscribe button, and you can support me depending on the price you choose. Memberships come with a bunch of cool tiers, like being at the end of my videos, having a cool role in my server, and a cool little badge for the comments and live streams. If you are interested in joining my Discord, if you are 13 or older of course, feel free to join the 17 Zone 3.0, as over there people like to discuss Sonic, show their art, and a lot more. If you want to also follow my Twitch, go ahead, as over there I stream a lot of non-Sonic related content like Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda. Next up, also if you'd like to, follow my Twitter at MrMeister17, as over there I have a bunch of updates for the channel, and I'm pretty active over there. One last time, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.